Johnny Manziel is back in the spotlight, and no, he's not issuing an apology this time. The buzz surrounds none other than Shedeur Sanders, and the former No. 2 overall pick's comments are catching people off guard. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Sanders are igniting what might be the most unpredictable quarterback clash of the entire preseason. Something unusual is brewing in Cleveland, and if you think you've seen it all before, buckle up. Today's update is nothing short of stunning. This is the kind of NFL headline you read twice to make sure it's real. Johnny Manziel, yes, that Johnny Football, is publicly backing Shedeur Sanders as Cleveland's next great quarterback hope. The same Manziel whose tumultuous tenure in Cleveland left fans with emotional scars and a healthy skepticism of hyped-up first-rounders. Yet here we are. On his Glory Days podcast, Manziel showed genuine support for Sanders, saying the young QB has the juice to succeed in Cleveland. And let's face it, Shedeur's fifth-round selection was already shocking, considering his electric performance at Colorado. Though his draft stock inexplicably plummeted, Cleveland saw untapped potential and moved fast. Now, critics are already pulling out the same tired narratives, suggesting that Sanders could be the next victim of the Browns' infamous quarterback graveyard. But Manziel's take? Surprisingly hopeful. He insists Sanders is entering a winnable situation with a real shot to take control of the offense. According to Manziel, Shedeur's relentless work ethic, authentic love for the game, and raw ability give him everything he needs to rewrite the narrative. I think he'll be successful, Manziel said, sounding eerily like the mature version of himself that never quite materialized during his own NFL run. Sure, the parallels are obvious. Both quarterbacks slid in the draft. Both landed in Cleveland, and both arrived with a city craving a hero under center. But that's where the similarities should end. Manziel's career was derailed by off-field drama, a half-hearted approach to preparation, and the brutal reality that swagger doesn't win games. Sanders? He's different. He's methodical, he's composed, and let's not forget, he was raised by Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer who didn't just parent him, but prepared him like a general, raising a future field commander. Shedeur may not be the flashiest athlete on the field, but his pocket presence, ability to dissect coverages, and refusal to turn the ball over are already turning heads at Browns camp. So yes, it's kind of surreal that Johnny Manziel is now dishing out quarterback wisdom, but his message? It might just hold some weight. Sanders isn't just hanging on in practice, he's thriving. If he keeps grinding, keeps proving he's more than just Deion's son, then Cleveland may have pulled off the steal of the draft. Is Manziel actually right about Shedeur? Let us know in the comments. But don't go anywhere, because this next twist is wild. The Browns could carry 4 quarterbacks into November. In typical Cleveland fashion, the chaos doesn't stop at the depth chart. The franchise is now flirting with the idea of entering the regular season with not 1, not 2, but 4 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. This isn't a typo. It's like they're running a college scrimmage, not finalizing an NFL roster. Right now, the Browns are juggling Joe Flacco, the ageless vet, Kenny Pickett, still trying to find his rhythm, and rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, all competing for the QB1 crown. The assumed plan? Start with Flacco or Pickett, let the rookies develop, eventually trim the group to 3 signal callers, as most franchises do. But Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com just threw that plan into a blender. On 92.3 The Fan, she dropped a bombshell. She fully expects the Browns to carry all 4 quarterbacks into the season and possibly beyond the trade deadline. It's bold. It's unconventional. Yet what's becoming increasingly evident from the latest Browns OTA sessions is that Dillon Gabriel's name isn't merely drifting around as a footnote. He's making a legitimate impact. That's right, despite the murmurs, the jabs, and the criticism surrounding his stature, Gabriel has displayed flashes of brilliance that simply demand your attention. So let's dissect everything we witnessed and heard straight from Browns camp and what it might signify for Week 1 and beyond. I'll reveal all the insights, but first, be sure to smash that like button if you've been a loyal Browns fan for 16 plus years. It's heartwarming to see fans of every generation. Much respect to all of you. Now let's address the elephant in the room, height. Dillon Gabriel measures in at just over 6 foot, and during OTAs, that fact was not just apparent, it was glaring. Reports describe a telling moment that captured the concern perfectly. Gabriel, despite his determination, attempted to loft the ball over the line during a drill, only to have it swatted down by defensive tackle Mason Graham. The play didn't merely end in a deflected pass, it culminated in coaches, players, and even reporters commenting on how small Gabriel appeared behind the offensive line. One reporter was even caught on a hot mic saying, "I'm taller than him." That's not exactly the kind of scrutiny you want when you're vying to establish yourself as an NFL starter. But here's the plot twist. Gabriel is fully aware of this. The Browns were aware of it when they drafted him, and still they chose to bring him on board. Why? Because while height might be a limitation, accuracy is where Dillon Gabriel truly excels. And Browns fans, let me assure you, this kid can sling it. Multiple OTA reports have underscored Gabriel's exceptional ball placement. Whether it's a back shoulder fade or a precisely timed slant across the middle, his touch and precision are absolutely next level. In today's NFL, where completion percentages are on the rise and the margin for error is razor thin, pinpoint accuracy is everything. If Gabriel possesses that elite ball placement, he's already ahead of the curve. Does Kevin Stefanski double down on his guy, Dillon Gabriel? Or does the front office, rumored to have been the driving force behind the Shedeur Sanders pick, step in and insist on a quarterback switch? This is where internal politics ignite. And as mentioned earlier, there's mounting speculation that Gabriel was Stefanski's choice, safe, smart, and system-ready. Sanders, meanwhile, might have been more of an Andrew Berry or even Jimmy Haslam pick. Big upside, marketable, and potentially a franchise face. That division could sow discord if the team starts faltering, and in Cleveland, when things go sideways, they really go sideways. So let's wrap this up before we close out today's exclusive deep dive. Dillon Gabriel. Short, precise, and playing catch-up behind a physically gifted rookie and a wily veteran. Shedeur Sanders flashy, dynamic, and quite possibly being groomed behind the scenes for a mid-season takeover. Joe Flacco, the season starter, but one poor stretch away from handing over the reins, and Kenny Pickett, he might as well start packing his bags. This battle is far from settled. In fact, it's just heating up. And whether it's Flacco, Gabriel, or Sanders leading the charge come Week 6, one thing is crystal clear. This quarterback room is the most unpredictable in the entire league. So Browns faithful, we want to hear from you. Who do you want under center on opening day? Now let's shift from speculation to implications, because what unfolds next in this quarterback saga won't just shape the 2025 season, it will reverberate throughout the entire franchise. Let's talk about what's truly at stake here. If Kevin Stefanski goes all in on Dillon Gabriel and things unravel, it won't just be a failed experiment, it could cost him his job. Remember, this isn't 2020 anymore. There's no grace period, no wait-and-see approach. Yes, he's led this team to the playoffs, but he's also staring down the most politically charged, high-pressure quarterback controversy of his career. If he backs Gabriel and Sanders, starts lighting it up in practice, the front office and ownership won't just be frustrated, they might be ready to pull the trigger. On the flip side, if Sanders gets the nod and flounders, that's a direct hit on Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, who, according to rumors, championed the Sanders pick. They're betting big on potential and upside, and as history has shown, when politics start dictating who lines up under center in Cleveland, chaos is never far behind. But there's another dimension we haven't explored yet, the locker room. Veterans in that locker room want to win now. They're not here for a rebuilding phase or developmental reps. They're here to chase a title. And while rookies can bring energy and hope, they also bring mistakes. If Flacco starts and the team is grinding out ugly wins, Stefanski might not dare to make a change, even if the front office is whispering behind closed doors. That decision, sticking with a 39-year-old Flacco to preserve locker room chemistry, could buy Stefanski time, or it could cost him everything if it backfires. And this isn't just about winning, it's about identity. What kind of team do the Browns want to be in 2025? If it's a Flacco-led, veteran-heavy, grit-and-grind offense, then the window is now. But if they pivot to Gabriel or Sanders early, they're sending a message to the locker room, to the fans, and to the entire league that they're playing for the future. That message matters because once you head down the development path, it's hard to turn back. And let's not forget about the fans. Browns fans are no fools. You've seen this movie too many times before. You know when a quarterback controversy is real and when it's just smoke and mirrors. Right now, it's real. And the frustration isn't just about the number of quarterbacks in the mix, it's that, for the first time in a long time, the Browns might actually have two young passers with legitimate talent and still find a way to botch it. If you're a Gabriel supporter, you love his pinpoint accuracy, his poise, and his clean execution. He's the guy who can run a Kevin Stefanski game plan to perfection. But if you're a Sanders backer, you see the flashes, the energy, the playmaking spark that simply can't be coached. He has that it factor. The question is whether the Browns can get it to shine on Sundays. And let's be real, Kenny Pickett is likely out of the conversation. There's been no significant buzz around him in any of these OTA reports. He's trailing in reps, he's not making waves, and he's not climbing the depth chart. It's clear he was brought in more as an insurance policy than a serious contender. And with the way this battle is shaping up, he may never get a true shot in Cleveland. But there's one more name we need to mention, the guy who'll be taking handoffs from whichever quarterback wins this job, Quinshon Judkins. Let's circle back to this rising rookie for a moment. ESPN projected 922 rushing yards for Judkins, and while that might sound modest to some, it would actually place him in elite company. Only 13-point attention, passionate Cleveland Browns fans. Brace yourselves, because something monumental is stirring in the AFC North, and it could redefine the entire playing field. We're talking about a direct impact on the Browns' journey toward another Super Bowl run, a seismic shift that could leave a divisional rival reeling for years. And you're getting this news firsthand, but before we dive in, if you're a die-hard Cleveland Browns supporter, hit that subscribe button to fuel this passion even more. Show the world you're part of this family. Let's unite and push toward that 10,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with your friends and fellow Browns fans. Let's get to the news. All right, Browns Nation, strap in because there's a lot to unpack. The quarterback situation in Cleveland has been nothing short of a roller coaster in recent years, and right now it's more competitive than ever. You know, the Browns have always carried high expectations. Whether it's a playoff berth or a deep postseason run, fans are starved for consistency and, above all, a franchise quarterback. But this year, the landscape is shifting, and the buzz could ripple across the entire AFC North and beyond. Let's talk quarterbacks. First, we've got the seasoned presence of Joe Flacco, a battle-tested veteran known for his postseason heroics and that cannon of an arm that still has the potential to catch defenses off guard. Flacco signed with Cleveland to bring stability and veteran leadership, and let's be honest, his familiarity with Kevin Stefanski's offensive scheme makes him a prime candidate to secure the starting job early on. Flacco's experience in high-pressure moments and his commanding leadership aren't just window dressing. He's a legitimate contender, especially given the current state of the team and the urgent need for results. Then there's Kenny Pickett, a young signal caller still striving to carve out his legacy in the league. Pickett has showcased flashes of promise, but he's still refining his game. The Browns see him as a potential starter down the line, but for now, he's more of a wild card, a guy who could either step up and seize the opportunity or need additional time to mature. And of course, we can't overlook the rookies Dillon Gabriel and the headline maker Shedeur Sanders. Sanders is the name captivating the entire NFL landscape, and for good reason. Despite being a fifth-round selection, his pedigree and raw potential set him apart from the rest of the rookie class. His surname alone, Sanders, carries considerable weight, given his father's legendary NFL career, but Shedeur has earned his hype not just because of his name, but because of his stellar college tape. He's a dynamic quarterback with a rocket arm, impressive mobility, and a football IQ that belies his age. The question remains, can he bridge the gap from college standout to NFL starter, especially so soon? Here's where things get interesting. According to Zach Jackson from The Athletic, a respected Browns insider with deep team connections, the odds of Sanders or Gabriel starting immediately are slim. Gone are the days when you could scrape by with a 57% completion rate and still hold a job. Now, you need to hover in the mid to high 60s just to be considered serviceable. And honestly, it fits Cleveland's pattern of forging their own path, no matter how strange. The logic? They want time. Time to evaluate, time to develop, time to avoid cutting a gem too soon. Especially when a fifth-rounder like Sanders might just be that guy. But let's be real, keeping 4 QBs means someone else on the roster gets squeezed out. A key special teamer, a backup linebacker, or a rotational corner. That's a tough pill to swallow, unless a bigger plan is in motion. And that's where things heat up. A trade could be looming if a team comes calling for Pickett and dangles a mid-round pick. It's hard to imagine Cleveland saying no. Then again, this is the Browns. Logic doesn't always apply, so here we are. Johnny Manziel making sense, the Browns stockpiling quarterbacks like Pokemon cards, and Shedeur Sanders quietly making believers out of skeptics. If Shedeur is the real deal, buckle up. The ride's just getting started. Subscribe to the channel and stay locked in for every wild twist in the never-ending saga that is the Cleveland Browns.